Hey, what's up? What's up? I hope y'all doing well this evening as we push through, push through. Y'all doing all right? I'm doing good. Just a lot going on, lot going on. Who's in the room? I know it's always sometimes a little slow going. It'd probably be better if I get my stuff together and push it out hard, quick. We'll get there. We're gonna talk about it this evening. It's all energy, bro. It's all energy. How do you shift it? How do you have it? How do you be it? Things don't just all the time work. And that could be just with you. You know what I mean? Miss Marie, thank you so much. Yes. And of course, there's D. I'm gonna wait for everybody to get on here so we can all talk about this. Deidre. Yes, yes. Hi. Miss Celeste. It's so good to see all the people. Brother John. We're gonna give them some time to get on here. And hopefully we're gonna enjoy ourselves. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. All right, all right. Thank y'all so much for being here. And we're gonna get on with this show. You know what I need to do also is get a text system, a text message system, so that people can make sure. Mr. John Thomas, we will be talking to you hopefully tomorrow. We're gonna talk to you tomorrow. I've been on the phone probably almost up until the show. Almost. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, my daughter is on her way home for spring break. And so I was having a conversation with her about driving home. And so, yeah, was on the phone with brother John Lewis. Finally got to talk to him. And of course, we're going to probably end up having him back. Heck, we need to have John Thomas on. So, this evening, I think should be really intriguing and special. It's not blasted. I could have put it on my Facebook a little sooner, but it almost came down to the wire. When you're doing these weekly shows, you do these weekly shows and it gets to a point where it's like, oh, wait, I got to do it. And you got all these other things going on. But we here. Mother White, it's good to see you. And we got Brother Elijah. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Thank you so much. And we shall do that. Absolutely. We shall do that. Most definitely. I need to probably and then we have Sandra, I believe. Yes. Make sure I said that right. Thank you. We like to acknowledge everyone that's coming in. Thank you so much, everybody that's coming in. Hey, like Miss Mother Codwell. Yes, yes. And Brother Carl Collins, you are amazing. You're awesome. It's good to have you. It's good to have you. I'm not sure. I know some people just tap in and tune in, right, to what's going on. Let me see if this thing will still. So that's an overlay. Okay, we need it as a background. Um, let's see if this will show up here so that you guys can actually see what tonight holds. I guess it's got a new way of, they switch it up and it's got a whole new way of being. I don't know. I don't even know how this works anymore. It's amazing because the whole platform has changed. So I don't know how to cue that. Right? Do you believe in magic? Y'all remember that? Do you believe in magic? Remember that? That was a song, right? Who was that song? Who was that song by 1965? Sung by the Loving Spoon. Do you believe in magic? Maybe that's another song. I want you to take a moment right now and I want you to when you really feel like as I say that, like just to say it and hear it. Do you remember, like, do you, if especially in America specifically, right? Whenever a person would say magic, it would be like, oh my God, you think of sleight of hand. You know what I mean? Sleight of hand. A lot of magic had to do with, um, it had to do with illusion. It has to do with illusion. What is real? It has to do with the supernatural. The other word is magic. Magic is it's the application of beliefs, right? Let's go ahead and put that on the screen so that you guys see this. Hey, whatever you do tonight, this evening, just make sure, I promise you, I am in a space, in a zone that I'm going to speak. Follow me, please, everybody that's here. I'm going to be speaking in a way that I believe that is designed to resonate with the people, resonate with you in the sound of my voice. And I'm not bringing anything that is any more special than who you are, what you are, as you are. Understand? You follow me, please? But at the same time, when some of us are in contemplation, in meditation, right? And we're looking, we're seeking, we're finding. And so I'm here. I'm a self-professed mystic. And we can get into that and what that means. Hopefully anybody that comes across it and they hear that and it makes them uncomfortable, right? People only get comfortable whenever you say you're a pastor or when you're a bishop or something of that, and then you turn around and then you have an inclusive message or you have a mystical message. There's this such thing as Christian mysticism, Islamic mysticism, and Judaism, Kabbalah, right? Magic. Magic is the application of belief rituals or actions employed in the belief that they can manipulate natural or supernatural beings and forces. Okay. The sleight of hand and the illusion of what we've seen as a magician is part of filmmaking and movies, and it's part of what we have come to terms with, what we believe something may be. In the religious spaces, you hear of this, and it's typically something that would turn people away or turn people off. And the reason, and the main reason why people say that, has to do with the fact that in the biblical era and time, the Bible would speak of magic, or the words would be translated as magic, which also would be translated as sorcery, practices, divination. And I believe the passage is Deuteronomy, was a passage. And the Old Testament contains a lot of stories of Egyptian magicians. And those Egyptian magicians in that era and time, since I don't believe in the literal words, I believe is an ancient text that, okay, I'll just bring it in here. The ancient text, I'm sorry. The scripture in the Bible is ancient. It has, thank you, baby. So it has ancient, these ancient text that has wisdom. Follow me. Okay. I'm here now. So this ancient text that has wisdom is something that we have been born or raised to take it literal. And more of the southern states versus the northern states embraced its belief systems, and belief systems being, and spirituality, and all belief systems were sustained and remained in a space that is only to do with Western Christianity. A lot of it built in with colonization, and the denial of what to believe, and the fact that you have the freedom to believe what you experience. Y'all make sure, because I'm telling you, this is going to lead up. Let me tell you where we're going. If you were to have artificial intelligence in any time or era that the scriptures were written, that would be magic. This is magic. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because if you look back at that term, magic is the application of belief, rituals, or actions employed in the belief that you can manipulate natural. Can we manipulate natural? Yes, we can manipulate natural. Everything you see here has been manipulated of the natural. It's just beliefs, and what we believe is just a belief until it turns into a hypothesis and is no longer a theory, and or vice versa. And when we take the idea, I'm a metaphysics or metaphysician, mystic metaphysician, we go and explore, and there's a science to this. There's a metaphysics, right? There's a science to it, even though we can actually go into the paranormal. And we say, what if I can fly? They were killing folks for saying stupid stuff like that. What do you mean, what if you can fly? Are you crazy? Now, I want y'all to go with me now. Now, right now, this is going to be, I'm coming straight with it. This is going to be, you need to get off this live. If you have a problem or you're not in the space and you can handle the fact that the Holy Spirit would be considered use of magic. It's just you're afraid of the term because of the fact of the way that we have learned, and because of the fact that it says in the Bible. It says in the Bible, right? Strongly disapproves of magic and sorcery and divination and the other and occult practices. You better stay away from that because, they talk about sacrificing kids and, what the really, bro? Like casting spells. Y'all do that every day, all day. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's Old Testament. They were afraid of them. Listen, they were afraid of the Egyptians. You know why? Because the Egyptians, they say, you Egyptians are imitating God's miracles. Like, we do this. Okay, let's just go there for a moment. Let's just go and say Judaism, right? Let's just say Judaism and the Kabbalah, right? We're doing things, but it was approved because of the masses and then so on and so forth within this context, within this state. So it was approved, but just imagine that the Egyptians are coming along and y'all attempting to do God's miracles. And I'm not sure how we don't know. Like, y'all, you demonstrating y'all's power over God, and that's sorcery. Oh my God. False teacher, false pastor, false prophet. Somebody's always trying to call somebody out. And you know who's the number one person trying to call somebody out? And I'm going to get on them, right? And that is the fact that here it is, we in this country and we are living our lives. And the minute that you have a pastor or somebody else that's black will definitely come and be like, they're false and I need to let everybody know. I need to let everybody know that they're false and they're not preaching this and they're preaching that. And here it is, we're 90-something percent of all black people in America profess to be Christian. 40-something percent out of all the white people, I think it was 40. This is all Pew Research. I don't want to go in there. This is all research, and I'm talking about it was a sample of, I think, 70,000 or something close to 70,000. And you know what? My lived experience tells me that you go on some videos and you go look and go click and you look at people's stuff and you see people talking about God and you'll see it. you'll see that people are like, oh my God, you done too much. Oh my God, y'all touch not the anointed and all this stuff. And I'm gonna get off of that because, um, uh, but I just want to I just want to bring us to some clear understanding that although you use words that make you comfortable, Holy Spirit, in those contexts, within the framework, within the reference of the church, you're fine with saying it. There's a lot of people that's having a problem with people talking about ancestors. They have a problem with talking about the dead. You don't speak to the dead. And if you speak to the dead, you're speaking to the devil, basically. In the meantime, y'all so spiritual. These people are so spiritual. They so deep and so spiritual in what God is doing. Whoop, 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 whoop. Our country's being taken over by the scientists. They just say, oh, that's just the devil. Or some of these fools are saying that's God. You just do that because it's easier. You just say that it's easier. And when you got your group and you got your people, it's easy to do ministry in a way because it's already flooded. Ministry is flooded. It's flooded with it's flooded with potential. It's flooded with potential seekers. I got potential seekers and people want to know who they are. It's in them. It's in them on who they are. But the only thing we have been given, specifically through colonization, we've been given our belief systems, right? We've been given our belief systems. And the thing is that's the reason why this is titled Beyond Belief. And I'm gonna go deep later on, but I'm formulating, writing, and making music. We'll get to that later. But the belief systems and what belief does, we don't know it, but there's probably like 5 or 6 categories of belief. Religion religion fits in the belief systems of religion. But there's a science-based belief. There's all kinds of different sections of what you believe. That's the reason why people can have what we call is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. I was able to speak with a woman this past week, and she had an experience. And her experience was that one of her friend's sons took his own life a few years back. And this was a whole healing session. And we discovered within the healing session, I discovered that, of course, she had trapped up trauma and all these things is leading to fibromyalgia. And then I know that fibromyalgia is autoimmune. Autoimmune is related to this, blah, 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 blah. I can go down. But she had a moment of cognitive dissonance and she's seen the news and seen it, but she could not receive it. She could not accept it. It's a way that the brain works. Trauma is also the way that the brain works. No different than epigenetics and how you can, that's the changing of the genes, but also there's things that you can almost like inherit, if you will. It's deeply programmed. And the thing is what most of these people are afraid of. What most of them are afraid of is that on the other side of what I've been told within belief, on the other side, right? If you peek it in on the other side, there's bad things. There's evil, there's devil, there's sacrifices of kids, there's whatever. So all the bad images of whatever I can conjure up in my mind. In some Christian practices, magic was actually used. And you can think about it as, and I think most people are afraid of it because of the fact that you can think about the spell work and the rituals and right. That's just a whole nother religion. I'm not necessarily talking about that. I'm not talking about that. Let's go back to this. That's expanded consciousness. Let's go back to this. The application of belief, rituals, and actions employed in the belief. The applications of belief, rituals, or actions. The applications, how do I apply? Applying my beliefs through rituals, actions, right? So I'm going to apply, right? It's the application, it's the applying of the beliefs, rituals, actions employed in the belief that can manipulate natural or supernatural beings and forces. The biggest supernatural being and force is you. Leave right now if you do not want anything to come into your life, and you begin to learn and you begin to deploy. They didn't even like you to use that word. A lot of people didn't like the word manifest. Don't be using that word manifest. Now you can use the word manifest. You know, a lot of people be playing around with all sorts of different things, right? We have elements on this earth that are pure 100%, would be considered magic if you review life over the last 1,000 years, over the last 500 years. Last 500 years. Y'all know, when did we first fly? The first successful flight was 1903. 1903. That doesn't even make sense. Does that make sense? December 17th, 1903, Orville Wright, the Wright flyer, Wright brothers, for a short 12 seconds flight. 1903. And y'all worried about what somebody's talking about. These people are worried about when somebody's talking about magic. We just started flying. We just started flying. Can you imagine if you go back 500 years and you see somebody flying in a device? So what happens when you go back, whenever they're writing these scriptures, and they be like, don't be doing this and don't be doing that and don't believe in this. And then somebody, they would lose their cotton picking mind. They would lose it. Just like you would lose your mind if you can go into the future. Because we're living it now. That's why people are afraid. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. What we can do with this here and this here, when it alchemizes, when it comes into it, and when we realize the power and the energy we have, there's more that we can do. There's more that you can do. There's more that we can do as we come into knowing, as we come into our super consciousness, as we come into our super humanity, our superhumanness. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I got a different chair in here tonight. I'm telling you, protect your energy as we learn energy, as we learn vibration. And I'm telling you, it's simple. Don't be too complex. Don't be too complex with understanding this. This is water. This was a Sprite. And this is Salad and Go in a juice. Right? I drink a lot. Water, filtered, juice, various juice. It's got some level of natural sweetener, and Sprite. High fructose corn syrup. I don't do soda that much unless I just fill it, but then I put a little bit of syrup in there. And then if you look at all the other ingredients that they put in here, I understand that this source of what they made within this source does not do not one thing that has zero benefit for me majorly. The carbonation and the sugars which are artificial, can actually help a person with their stomach, but while it's helping you with your stomach, it's also has high fructose corn syrup, which actually can slow down the body into the metabolic state. In other words, how you will process this, even compared to sugar. High fructose corn syrup, you will not process it the same way you can process, let's say, cane sugar. But ultimately, we know to hydrate the body, H2O is probably one of your best choices, H2O. But when you really want to think about replenishing certain nutrients in your body, right, we know that we have to use, what do? What's the best thing to use to increase your nutrients? What helps you as a human being? That the ecology, the transpersonal ecology, the connection to all living things. Our body functions well when we start including plants. Plants take in the sun, and they are naturally rooted into the earth, and it comes in this particular plant can actually do something for you. This plant can do something for you, and even this plant can do something for you. And I got plenty of it because I make it. That's CBD, if you ever heard of it. And the thing is, it's serious. Cannabis for the chronic pain. This is like, do you crave sugar? Do you crave breads? Do you crave alcoholic beverages? Do you smoke? Does tobacco smoke really bother you? Right? Give your score on your chronic pain, right? Joints, inflammation, right? Lower back pain. What can you do for lower back pain, right? You can get, here's different things. This is all in the cannabis for chronic pain. A proven prescription for using marijuana to relieve your pain and heal your life. I know a lot about, a whole lot, way more than a normal person, about cannabis, and it affects what we call as the endocannabinoid system. And then it's natural. You have an endocannabinoid system. Endocannabinoid system has to do with your endocrine system. I'm selling all this stuff because of the fact that I've alchemized myself. When people talk about being in knowledge and using head knowledge and use your heart and use your spirit, if you are in a fighter jet and you're about to go through something, you're going to use all of it. You're going to use your head knowledge. You're going to use your intuition. You're going to use all of it. I'm here to tell you, God has given you everything you need. And all of the knowledge that you don't have, that's okay too, because there's things that can help, right? There's things that you can do, and it can come closer to you, and you can get even better the more you embrace it, the more you embrace who you are, the more you use your magic. Pow! the more you embrace that energy. Just like these drinks, if you decide to fast, and you decide to drink some green juice. I have some blood work around here. I have some blood work. So I will go, and if I'm dealing with something, I will go get my blood work, and I can get a readout, and I can put it in ChatGPT. I can figure out, and I can ask it what's going on with my blood. I got another book over there called The Doctor Within, Dr. Block. He was one of my mentors, and I worked with him. He was a physician, the doctor within, right? How do we get to be the doctor within? All this stuff in this, as I'm speaking on things like magic, right? What do you believe? How are you applying your beliefs? How are your rituals and things that you are doing? When you go to a church and you have music, you go to a church, you have music, you have protocol, you have these actions, and you're deploying these actions into this belief that you can manipulate the earth and manipulate the natural, and then perform and have supernatural beings and forces. I'm here to tell you. Anybody that's sitting around fighting about profit this and profit that, anybody that's sitting around worried about what somebody said in terms of if they don't have the scripture correct, or if they, theology is the most bullshit I've ever heard in my life. You can tell I'm a little annoyed when I said what I said. This is Bishop. This is from Carlton Pearson's house. This is Bishop Spong. This is Spong. So there's people that's coming out. We've been talking about this. Look at this. This was from Bishop's house. This is from Bishop Carlton Pearson's house. This was thank you, dear Miss Gina. If you ever get on, she's on the live here and there. But I want you to see something here, right? About how long we've been doing this. How long we've been doing this. This is a note, Philadelphia. Like, this book is really neat. I think I could collect books. It's this book at one time. There it is. Look at this. Y'all see that? Look at that. Come on, baby. There we go. March 21st, 1889. Gettysburg. Look at that. This was somebody gave this to Bishop in 2004, but this was signed Amos A. Parr. I could go online and you can go on the internet right now and you can research and you can see this. Natural law in the spiritual world. To live is to correspond, and to correspond is to live. So much is true in science, but it is also true in religion, and it is of great importance to observe that to religion also the conception of life is a correspondence. No truth of Christianity has been more ignorantly or willfully transvested than the doctrine of immortality. Are we going backwards? This was 1800s. Are we going backwards? It was 1800s when Alice Bailey started writing about the new age to come. She was writing about us. Y'all tripping about new age, and Alice Bailey in the 1800s was tapped in and doing stuff and writing about us. She was talking about expanded consciousness. She was talking about expanded consciousness. the states of consciousness, including the awareness, the mystical experiences, and the personal growth. How am I functioning in this world? I'm here to tell you the practices and things that you do, the practices and things you do govern the power that you may have on the earth. And for all those that are bouncing off the walls in a church, and we clearly know they have zero power. Zero power. People that are going crazy and shouting and dancing and doing all that stuff, it's emotionally charged. I'm not saying that it does not do anything. Don't get me wrong. If you get out and you run up the street and you run back, it's going to make you tired. But if you keep doing that, you're going to have more strength. If you go into church and you believe that something is going to happen, and you believe that it's going to happen, and you know it, and you begin to act it, and it's going to happen. It can make a difference, even if you have it in a limited space. You don't understand that you're alchemizing and you're using levels of energy, but you get real weak when it comes to going within. Real weak when you really understand your true power. When you understand your true power, and your true power to me has more to do with what we have not unlocked. We haven't unlocked where we are headed, but we are beginning to. A lot of what you're seeing in the planet today has a lot to do with the fact that we are unlocking some things within consciousness. Artificial intelligence. Is it really artificial? Artificial intelligence is a word. Write that down. Artificial intelligence is a word. And if y'all, I'm going to get to the comments in a minute. Right now I'm in flow. Artificial intelligence is a word. We're going to hit up this juice real quick. This is an energy, right? Yeah, I can live with that. Little on the sweet side. But apples, I think that's usually you use apple to cut. There's definitely apple in it. Artificial intelligence is a word. Let's take the word artificial away and let's just leave ourselves with intelligence. What is intelligence? What is intelligence? Right? Intelligence, right? The ability to acquire knowledge. Simple. The ability to acquire knowledge. Intelligence when it comes to the military, when it comes to CIA, it is information that is important that we can use in order to stop, start, or understand something of a bigger matter. But it's information. It's just information. It's just information. the ability to acquire or apply knowledge and skill. Let that sit with you for a minute. I want that to sit with you for a minute. When I refer to a higher state of being or a higher existing or a higher understanding or a realm or a world or a place that we know exists, and we can look at it different. We can look at when we say God different, because God is something that is very elusive. But when we look at intelligence, we can actually do something with that. Understand? We can do something with that. We think it's just knowledge, but it is not. It is the ability to acquire knowledge and apply the knowledge to something. So you will hear it as you read other metaphysical books, and you begin to, and other things that's in this space, you will see the infinite intelligence. The infinite intelligence. He often refers to the universe, the divine or the cosmic intelligence that is a source of all creation knowledge, encompassing everything in existence. The infinite intelligence, the great I am. I see God as more of a big ball of energy. A big ball of energy. And all the information is all around it, attracted to it. But this big ball of energy is pure energy. Pure energy. That energy operates as a frequency. It operates as a frequency and a vibration. Anybody familiar with frequencies and vibrations? You are. Everybody here on this live is very familiar. Everybody is familiar with a frequency and vibration. Sometimes you hear it in terms, frequency and vibration. You hear these terms loosely thrown out there when it comes to some of this spiritual stuff, and when it comes to metaphysical teachings and things like that. Whenever when it's leaning more towards the occult, and when I say the occult is different, and when most people in America think about metaphysical, they think about crystals and all the other elements of what we call as paganism. Paganism is not metaphysical, or that's pagan. What is the other? Wicked. That's different, right? That is a whole nother, I would consider a whole nother belief system. It's a whole nother, almost like a religion. Now that religion or that belief system integrates or believes in metaphysics, but metaphysics is not that. That is just a good way to market metaphysics. That's a good way to sell it in America. That's it. That's it. A lot of the mystical teachings and understandings in the historical context. The historical context closely relates to a lot of things that you can see in scripture. when you think about the book of Enoch, when you think about the book of Thomas, right? When you think about a lot of things that are not associated with the Bible, but still associated with the era of the Bible and even after or before. When you even think about things like, when you think about when you think about the Kabbalah in Judaism, right? When you think about that, what do you know about Kabbalah? What do you know about Judaism in itself? Religious literacy is, we're the most ignorant country when it comes to religion. You know that? We're the most ignorant. We're the most ignorant when it comes to other beliefs. We don't even know about our own. Western Christians don't even know about Western Christianity. They think it's Christianity. I'm sitting here like this because guess what? I've only really been able to, I have heard the term. I've connected to levels of Christianity and the text and the books. I've connected to the understanding that we have translations that come from the Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, or Latin, Greek, Hebrew. And then there's Aramaic is what Jesus spoke, and it was Old Aramaic. Was familiar with that, but I never did have an understanding. I never was taught that in the Middle East, where Christ and all this was to take place, was all mystical, was all very magical. And that's the reason why they talked about it. That's the reason why they said don't do it. It's because that's what they were all doing. They just wanted theirs to be better. In the sense of how the scriptures have been translated. And the other thing is, who really knows? Like, who really knows? We're just speculating and just speculating, bro. I'm telling you, we're just speculating on history. We have some ideas and some connections, but when it comes down to it, what is it doing for you today? I need some magic in my life. I need some things and I don't even need to be magic. I need some real things in my life. I don't need to be sitting back and going crazy in the sense of just, I've seen this organization in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it's a church organization, a white Pentecostal church. It's a big church. And these are what we call Jesus dress people, right? They wear the long dresses and buns and all that, but yet though they're Pentecostal, so they still do a lot of the black gospel shouting and all that. And it's kind of interesting. But it came across, since I looked at them one time, because I was like, that's crazy what they're doing. Clicked at it one time. And therefore it came back in on my feed, and I seen that they're about to build like a massive campus, and it looks like a corporation. And to these for these people, they don't, people we don't they don't really understand capitalism, and it's like God is for sale. The church is a replica of the political system, and the church is completely 100%, 1000% nothing but an American invention. The modern church, I'm going to make sure, I want to see myself. The modern church is an American invention through capitalism, marketing, the corporate structure. You got marketing, you got media, you got advertising, you got a product, and that product is Jesus. That product is God or the Bible. And what is the reason you have to have that product, right? If I had a computer and I wanted to sell the computer, right? Well, what's the drive? The drive is the fact that this computer can help you do this and do that and do whatever. Okay, great. I need that because it can help me. I can receive my emails. Okay? It's going to cost you this much. In the church, in America, it is an invention. It is an invention of in a take of capitalism in order to take this entity of what it is and to say, I got to sell more people on it, because if I don't sell more people on it, they're going to go to hell. If I don't sell more people on, they're going to have salvation. And I needed to grow, and I needed to grow big, because it said to grow big. It said to grow big as you can. And we got to do this big as we can. Like I'm doing this image right now, big as I can. Because it's an invention that says, and it so matches. Corporate America. It matches corporate America. You got a product, you got service, and you got, you get community, right? You get something to do. And now churches, you know what I mean? You got your gear, you got your wear, you got your songs. You got everything you need. But here's the thing. I'm talking about it in this way because of the fact that it kind of makes it where America kind of makes it where this is spirituality. This is a form of spirituality. And my thing is, I would be cool if everybody in there had Cadillacs. If it's like, hey, we're going to help everybody in here come up. But for some reason in a church, you got these broke people, and then you got these people that are kind of okay, but then you got somebody that is doing really well. And in the mega church, the pastor, and even more so now than ever, the pastor is this rock star celebrity, with the big social media, with this and that, which is, it's totally fine when it comes to the American structure, when it comes to business. Like, listen, I got quite a few followers, and I monetize it. I'm a part of the American system, but I believe in a product and service. I believe in what service you buy, you should be able to receive something in return, right? That is of equal or equal or greater value, and I don't think that it should be demanded that you buy my product or else it's a free gift, man. It's taken away from your true magic. You don't like it, I don't care. Go somewhere else. I'm only want to talk to people that can. I only want to talk to people that want to be able to actually self heal. I want to talk to people that can really understand where we are right now in this time and in this era and what they're supposed to be doing for themselves and for the planet, because it's speaking. And as men and as humans are going around destroying this place, destroying the planet, just destroying it, right? Based on what? Based on what they want, based on what they feel. When they hurting each other, you know what I mean? Go over here and blow this up and go over there and blow that up. And I don't like you because you hurt me from back in the day. And if I get on my soapbox just a little bit more when it comes to America, I realize one thing. We've committed levels of genocide, but we've committed as a country levels of cruelty that I don't know if any other country has equal the equivalency. You know, you go to some countries and they cut people's heads off, but I mean, to hear that, like, there was people that would hang somebody and then turn around and then hang their wife because they got mad, upside down, burn them, and then before they died, take a hunting knife and cut the baby out and literally make sure you can see that I'm gonna crush this baby's head with my foot. Now, that kind of energy like that, that's what happened 1914, right? Y'all, you can't get rid of that energy and just be like, well, we don't talk about it. And well, you shouldn't feel shame. And here we are. We just now finding out some of how cruel these stories were. You know, we hear slavery, but them stories were pretty bad. Pretty bad. I mean, pretty evil and vile. And guess what? Guess what? They went to church the next day. Keep doing your church thing. It's cool. But when you're tired of it, when you're ready to understand your true power, understand God is within. The power of all infinite intelligence, of everything that's on this planet and outside of this planet, lives deep inside of you. And it's really not that deep. Right now, if I was to tell you, without moving your mouth, and just for you to be quiet right now and say your name, your full name. Who said that? Did you hear it? Who said it? What said it? Can you measure that? You could probably measure the waves of the brain and maybe see that there's some activity. But that is just a little bit of what consciousness is. That's a little bit of who you are. Those little bitty thoughts, that little bitty thought of you just being able to close your eyes and say your name is enough energy from states of spirituality and consciousness to begin to heal or destroy your body. Just by the thought and the practice of those thoughts. You've heard it before, maybe. But when a gazelle goes to be attacked by a lion, or is attacked by a lion. He's out there drinking water. The lion says, I think I found my dinner tonight. Because guess what? I'm hungry. I need you to get plenty of that water. But you know what? I got some cubs back here. I need to eat. They need to eat. Thank you, God. Boom. The chase begins. Chase begins. What happens to the gazelle? The lion, it senses the lion. All of a sudden, the entire system of this animal, this creature, says, danger, danger, danger. If your ass want to stay alive, you better get to moving. It's not going to try to outrun that lion straight. It's going to run that lion, and it's going to hit these hardcore turns. Boom, 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 boom. Right? And hopefully it gets away. But guess what? Hopefully some of them don't. Otherwise, the lion dies. Once that animal gets away, within a matter of seconds of it realizing that it's free, all of the body levels go like it never happened. Like it never happened. Human beings, by the way, all of that was energy, frequency, and vibration. Or I would like to say it was vibration, frequency, energy. You can play around with those, but energy is the big whole of what it all comes down to. But the vibration and frequency is what are very important in the alchemizing. It is the important of the belief, but then you have to actually understand that the energy, the magic is the energy, but the vibration, right? The vibration is the action. And the frequency is the level of that action. If I'm Steph Curry, I'm going to be at a vibration to shoot a 3, but that frequency is going to be on point. Boom, 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 boom. With the human being, what happens with human beings is when we have this thing called stress, we may experience something in our life, and and what happens is, this is like trauma. What happens is, like, you experience something like a trauma, okay? And what happens in the body is the body keeps the score. It has memory. And not only does it can do it in your brain, it can do it in the body. The body has cells, and those cells stores memory, right? All that energy in that you eating this food and you doing all this stuff is creating energy, and that energy is helping the cells survive. It's creating new ones, and it's getting rid of old ones. And if you ever see a cell, there's a thing called a telomere, and that telomere, if you see the double helix of a cell. And the cell, reason why we age is the telomeres. The cell actually changes. The cell changes. There's 1 trillion cells in your body. Okay. But what happens with human beings is you go through a particular action, and depending on that action can actually set a hardcore memory. It can set something so hardcore and burn into it. And then you go back to live your life, and then all of a sudden boom, something can happen. That's the reason we have formulated the word post-traumatic stress syndrome. There's a new one that we say is complex post-traumatic stress syndrome. It's complex. That's what religious trauma is. There's another thing called post-traumatic slave syndrome. There's not enough research and not enough people that would actually, in our category, in our space, that would actually, there is one lady that has a book on it that would actually write about this experience. So you imagine if somebody experienced, if there was anyone that experienced or anyone that was in that, me just hearing the story of a man getting hung, it's already bad enough, but we have learned to live with somebody dying, being hung, even though as bad as it is. But when we hear the story of a lady being flipped upside down because of what happened to her husband that's pregnant, and then you throw gasoline on her and catch her on fire, and then you literally can have the gall to actually put your foot on a baby's head, on an infant that you just cut out and crush it. That's where you get the term white devil. Sorry, folks. Like, and I know some black folks has done also some effed up stuff, so don't get it twisted. But regardless, that is a level of trauma that will hide in the body through generations. When that gazelle takes off, it goes, all the body goes back to normal. What happens with us when we go through things, we don't go back to normal. We live in a conscious, stressed state. The dark enlightenment that is a part of what is connected to the MAGA movement. Look it up. Dark enlightenment. It's a real thing. It's basically enlightenment with an understood darkness to it. But understand, when we stress and when we go through things, when we see TV, when we hear things is going on and it's constant, boom, 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 boom. You don't know it, but you're living in a constant state of stress. And what you don't know, whether it's information and things like that, does not mean that you don't experience that stress just because it happened 4 or 5 generations back. Just because of the fact that you may not be affiliated or connected to some particular thing happening, the stress and the vibration of news, the vibration of things happening can affect your energy and affect your ability to alchemize, affects your ability to self-heal. You can heal yourself through your cells. And yes, I would call it magic. Because the reason why I call that is because magic is beliefs in action. It's beliefs in action that you want to use to manipulate natural. And the word manipulate just means that you want to change it from a state. It's not talking about people. It's just changing it from a state. Changing it from a state to another state, manipulate it. All right, man. All right. Metaphysics. Look at that. This book, this is a man. What is this? This is a man in the universe. This is Aristotle. Aristotle he's the god. He is the considered the godfather or father, whatever you want to call him, of metaphysics. Metaphysics. I think I'm going to probably end up doing a little bit more of the metaphysics conversations, talks. And the other thing is, why would I do it? Because it gives us the ability. It gives us the ability to do things, right? It gives us the ability to change our lives from within, using beliefs, using tools. That's why we meditate. That's why we meditate, folks. That's why we meditate. It's a practice. Thoughts come in, thoughts are there. We have like 60,000 thoughts. All these thoughts, all these things going. How do I calm those thoughts down and bring them into subjection? Meditating on the word of God is another thought that removes you, your higher self, from the equation. And you're just constantly in this space of not being able to go within. And then, because the more you learn to go within, it's easier for you to look out, or too easy for you to look within at what is going on within. Oh, I see you. That's how you get connected to your shadow. Shadow work is when you begin to connect to your inner self and you begin to see the sabotage, the self-sabotage, the fear of success. You begin to see what's holding you back. And in order for you to break through that, it's good for you to actually have tools, people, resources. It's good for you to understand it. And when you begin to understand this magic, Dr. Dean Radin has a book called Real Magic. And in that book, he talks about the Holy Spirit. He talks about the history of it. He talks about, our ability to manifest. Manifestation is a real thing. The law of attraction is a real thing. It's just the way it's the way it's deployed or said. You're not attracting. Law of attracting is not just about feeling like you just want something. No, it's alchemy. It's something you already are. It's something you desire, but it's something that you become and you be. Stress is the body's natural response to pressure, whether physical, mental, emotional. It can lead to a range of physical and emotional symptoms, and the symptoms go on. It is the number one silent killer, and you cannot measure it. You can measure it, but you can't measure it in its killing state, because stress turns to cancer. Between your food and the energy that you're taking in, right? Between all the environment, and then you topple that with stress, and the cellular structure says, oh my God, what do I do? Well, we just keep jacking up is what we do. We're already aging. All right, my camera looks like it's wanting to die. There is one thing that I have that is the top of my list. The top of my list. And that is there's a special person that is in this room right now. She didn't know that I was going to say something. I think if Tia is here, Tia was a person that was really big in this. But I want everyone to know that it is Elder Deidre, as we say. It is Miss Deidre's birthday. Yes, it is. It is Deidre's birthday. I hear all the cheers. Y'all hear it? Y'all hear it? I would like to say happy birthday to Miss Deidre. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I was going to play it, but I'm afraid my camera's going to die. You know, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Let's see here. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Before if it switches off, you'll still be able to hear me. But let's go. Here we go. We're gonna do one thing real quick. I thought I had already had this on here. Look, y'all. Everybody right now, look at this. Right there. That's Deidre's Cash App. If you have her number or address, Deidre helps me behind the scene, and she's helping me keep this thing floating and going. And just inspiring, uplifting. She's amazing. That's her Cash App. It's just a token. It's just a token to say thank you. A token to say you are needed. You are amazing, and I appreciate it. And the last thing I will do on here is there is something going on with me and music. And yeah, let me see here. Searching for great. Let me see. I want to make sure I know that that should be it. What's her name? Dr. Dorothy she wanted to play one of the songs. So I am using AI, and I have a music background. And so I'm thinking about us as a community. And so a lot of the lyrics and words that I'm coming up with, some of the words are really for us, because we have music in the church and music in different places. But this is called affirmation music. And this song is called Learn to Be. Eventually, I will have enough to put an album together and make it available for iTunes and Spotify, because this is the kind of music that I think you want to listen to. Because of the words, okay? This is called Learn to Be. Learn to Be. This is one of Dr. Dorothy's favorite songs. I'm doing test markets and putting them with certain people in the community, just in the private community, because I have to go through all the copyrights and stuff, but I still want it available for us. But this is called Learn to Be. Your eyes right now and just listen to these words. Close your eyes and listen to.
I was raised in the echoes of sermons and signs.
It's not my
who I was, what to believe, how to walk the line. Kneeled at the altar, searching for grace, but all I found was fear wrapped up in faith. But something deep inside kept calling me. A whisper in the dark said you are free. Not in the rules, not in the chains, but in the love that calls my name. Learning to love myself, trust myself, even when I think I'm wrong. Learning to be set free, learning to be, learning just to be. No longer bound by the weight of my past. burn in the ash. I don't need permission to stand in the light. God ain't a place, God is inside. God is inside. Something deep inside keeps calling me. A whisper in the dark says you are free. Not in the rules, not in the chains, but in the love that knows my name. Learning to love myself, trust myself, even when I think I'm wrong. Learning to be set free, learning to be, learning just to be. Deep inside keeps calling me. A whisper in the dark says you are free. Not in the rules, not in the chains, but in the love that knows my name. Learning to love myself, trust myself, even when I think I'm wrong. Learning to be set free, learning to be. Learning to love myself, trust myself. Learning to be set free, learning to be, learning just to be.
That came to me, y'all, when we were in the healing circle on a Saturday. And we began to have a conversation with a person in the session. And healing began to just take place. And hopefully that person will be able to come back to our next meeting and be able to tell about the transformation, about the alchemy, about the magic, about the energy. It has been scaring her with all the things that has taken place. And that's when I heard stories and I heard the people, I heard it. And I said, you got to learn how to love yourself. You got to learn how to trust yourself. You got to learn to be, even when you think you're wrong. You just got to learn to be, be. There's so much more. I can keep you here all night. There's so much more. And we'll close out with my theme song. Don't forget. We love Miss Deidre. And yes, I will not post everybody's Cash App on their birthday. Sorry. Because if I did that, it doesn't make it how special I want this to be for Deidre. Unless it changes in the future. Otherwise, this is really, really special to me. So, as we close out, we're going to close out with my song. I'll probably present you guys a song a week until I get them all correctly copyright or whatever. Let's see. Where is my song on here? I don't know if it is. Oh, here it is. I just need to name it. Here we go. Listen to these words too as we close out.
Embark on your journey. the path you must take. Though hate may surround you, it's not your fate to forsake. Co-creating your destiny in the dance of time. The guiding light within you ignites the sublime. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. In the depths of your being, the truth resides. Embrace your power, let your spirit rise. With every step forward, you transcend the expanded conscious community we commend. Through trials and triumphs, your soul evolves in the symphony of life, where every note resolves.
Love y'all.
To the whispers of your inner
I'll be back
voice.
next week.
In unity and love, let your heart rejoice. It is the light, the
Don't forget,
guiding light
sign up
from the heart and soul.
for the community.
Lose control.
And if you need help doing that,
Let it be the light
I'll give you a free month.
shining bright, unlocking potential.
See y'all later. I love y'all.
Taking flight, it is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief. Taking flight as we gather together in this sacred space, embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way in unlocking potential day by day. One big space. Embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way, unlocking potential day by day.
Magic fingers, magic fingers. Bye bye.